On the last episode, we talked about every single part that I use in a budget PC flip.
Now here's a big question. Which parts would I buy new? Which parts would I buy used? The parts that I pretty much always buy used are the CPU and the GPU exclusively. I pretty much always buy those used. One of the reasons for this is the amount of money that you can save by buying those used compared to the other parts. Those are some of the biggest, margins, one of the biggest differences you can have between new and used. The parts that I will sometimes get used, sometimes get new, kind of depends on pricing. If I'm willing to test stuff, our RAM. RAM is usually, if you get it used, the price between used and new RAM is usually not that huge, but if you get a good deal, I would 100% buy used RAM. They're easy to test, just plug it into your PC. If it doesn't boot, it probably doesn't work. It's not the sort of thing that's just gonna, crap out randomly 2 weeks after you buy it. It's usually, if you try it and it works, it works. Kind of similarly with a motherboard. I only get motherboards used sometimes if the price is incredible, because just like the RAM, the price difference between new and used is not that much usually. And there are so many more things that can go wrong with a motherboard. So I will say this is in the maybe category with a caveat that I think if you're just starting off, you don't have a bunch of, testing rigs, I'd buy that new. The other part, PSUs. I personally get PSUs used all the time off of eBay. I test them when I get them to make sure they're working, and if not, I return them. Haven't had any issues with that. But the power supply, most of the time I buy new just because I don't want to give people a PC. And then if the part that goes wrong is the power supply, that's the one part I don't want going wrong. Because if anything else goes wrong, I can replace it for them. But if the power supply takes out any other parts, with how small margins there are in PC flipping, that's pretty risky. So I don't know if I would do that. But I'll keep it in the maybe pile because I've got tons on eBay. And when you buy power supplies used, go for the reputable brands. Go for the ones that are A, B tier. C tier PSUs I would just get new to be safe. And this is all in the cultist tier list, by the way, linked below. All of these parts I'm talking about are linked below. Check it out. I also have a guide on my website that just kind of goes through all this stuff real quickly, so you can check that out wherever the link's going to be. Another maybe is cases. I mostly get cases new just because a lot of these MATX cases in this channel that we use are anywhere from 50 to 65 bucks. Brand new, comes with everything, looks clean, looks great. I also try not to overstock on cases out of all the parts because they just take the most space. But if you find any good local deals, I wouldn't buy cases used online. I would buy them locally, which I've done. It's worked fine. They can be missing sometimes. A lot of the times they'll miss the back, PCIe, IO shield, whatever area. So watch out for that. So I'd probably buy new just because the price difference isn't worth it, but used is fine too. All right, so we talked about used, we talked about the maybe pile, and now the new only pile. Storage. Storage, I only buy new. The price difference between storage used and new is negligible and it's not worth the risk. Storage is one of the things that, your clients are gonna have a lot of their data on there. If something goes wrong, it's not as easy as just taking a part in and out. It has Windows tied to it. There's just too much to worry about to save 10 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever it may be. Always get that new. The other part that I always buy new is the CPU cooler. When you can buy this Thermalright cooler or similar ones for 20 bucks, you're not really gonna get anything used for any cheaper. If someone gives it to you for free or 5 bucks, sure, I guess, but I always go for brand new. If you're doing liquid cooling, I'd stay away from that at least when you're first getting into PC flipping, but that's also one that I would just buy new. Well, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions below. Make sure to go check out my other PC flipping series videos to see how I actually put this into use, how I talk to people, how I created a brand, and get out there and start selling. It's a really fun industry. It's a really fun thing to be doing. It's a really fun thing to be in. It's a great hobby that can actually make you money and you can have fun doing it. So have fun flipping.